Hello everyone, welcome to Supplement Tutorials. Today we're talking about anemias, part 1. So let's kickstart. So anemia is a medical condition whereby the blood hemoglobin levels falls below the normal range. And the range actually that has been given to anemia is dependent on, it could be gender, it could be altitude, it could be physiological condition, and it could be age. So for gender, males have significant hemoglobin levels as compared to females. So the reference range also differs from country to country or from region to region. So in my part of the world, the reference range for males is between 13.5 gram per deciliter to 17.5 gram per deciliter for males. And for females, it's around 12.5 grams per deciliter to 15.5 grams per deciliter. Okay, so that would be for gender. And then for altitude, people who are known to live in mountainous areas or higher altitude also have a significantly higher hemoglobin level. So once there is an increase in altitude, there is a decrease in oxygen level or hypoxia. Therefore, the body initiates a compensatory mechanism too. So anemia is also affected by altitude. And for physiological conditions such as pregnancy, or let's say menstruation, can also affect the reference range of anemia. Pregnant women mostly are anemic, or they have significantly low HB. And for women undergoing their menstrual cycle, they also seem to not have low HB. And then for age, infants, for instance, have a very high hemoglobin level. So they can record up to even 20 gram per deciliter. Alright. So that is a reference range in the hemoglobin level. So anemia is actually when the blood hemoglobin falls below the reference range. That is why we can term it as anemia. Now, the cause of anemia has been distinguished into 3 categories. We have acute or chronic blood loss, we have increased red blood cell destruction, and we have decreased red blood cell production. So acute or chronic blood loss, when someone gets an accident, the person loses a lot of blood, and that results in a decrease in the overall hemoglobin level that is found in the body. Okay. And increased red blood cell destruction. So there are certain disease conditions that can result in increased red blood cells condition. For instance, when someone is diseased with malaria, the malaria parasites, they attack the red blood cells, so they in turn destroy the red blood cells. Or when there is a condition when the hemolysis, any condition that leads to red blood cell hemolysis, can also causes what? Anemia. So that is increased destruction. And then decreased production. When there's a problem with the bone marrow, we know that the itself is found within the heart, within the bone marrow, and these pluripotent stem cell, for instance, the erythroblast is found within the bone marrow and is responsible for what erythropoiesis, production of red blood cell. So if there's something wrong with the pronomoblast, that is the initial stage of the erythropoiesis, then it means it's going to affect the production of red blood cell and therefore a decrease in the hemoglobin concentration. Okay. Now in the investigation of anemia, we have categorized it in 3 groups. So first of all, we have to check the medical history of the patient to rule out any other historical causes of anemia. It could be that the person suffers from GCSPD deficiency. It could be that the person is sickle cell, either the person is SS or SC, or any other hemoglobinopathy. So, or the person has a historical background of low HB throughout the family. So that one is always under medical history. So that one has to be reviewed first. And after that, we can also review for physical examination. So people who are anemic show certain symptoms or signs. An example of those symptoms are pallor in the conjunctiva. So there is pallor in the conjunctiva. And some patients might have spoolie nails, or what they call cornulintia. So they have spoolie nails. Then we have beefy red tongue, what we call glossitis, beefy red tongue or glossitis. And then the person can also overall look pale, or the person might have pale hands. So that is also one of the physical examination that is seen. Now when it comes to laboratory examination, these are the things that we look out for. So we look out for full blood count or complete blood count. So the complete blood count actually gives us parameters, and these parameters may include the hemoglobin level, the MCV, the MCH, the MCHC, and then the total red blood cells. So they are all red blood cell indices, and these are what we mostly use to diagnose whether someone is anemic or not under the laboratory investigation. Okay. Now, under the hemoglobin, someone who is anemic definitely must have a low hemoglobin level. Then this is the main cell volume. So this measures the size of the red blood cells, and then this one measures the hemoglobin concentration that is found within a single red blood cell. So this one, the MCV and the MCH, can be used to diagnose a certain type of anemia. We'll get there in future videos, which is what we call the iron deficiency anemia, together with the MCAT. So these ones will be able to tell the type of anemia. It could be megaloblastic anemia or iron deficiency anemia or microcytic anemia. Now, aside the full blood counts, other laboratory investigation that we also look out for is G6PD. So G6PD2 is an enzyme that prevents the red blood cells from undergoing oxidative burst from reactive oxidant species. So once someone lacks this G6PD enzyme, it means the person is prone to having his or her red blood cell undergoing hemolysis as a result of oxidative burst. Okay, so we can also check for this one. Then we can also investigate for sickling. You can also test if the red blood cells are sickle or not. So sickle cell anemic people mostly have what? A significantly low HB. Okay. So aside ABC, we can talk about GCSPD, we can talk about what? Sickling. And then we can even talk about thalassemia. Yes. So we can do HB electrophoresis to determine the hemoglobin variant and of course diagnose whether the person is from a thalassemia or not. Alright. So the classification of anemia actually has been divided into 3 categories. We have the morphology, we have the etiology, or both. So when we talk about the etiology, we are talking about the acute or the chronic blood loss, or the distraction of red blood cells, which we talked about earlier under the causes. Now when we talk about the morphology, the shape, the size, and the color of the red blood cells enable us to distinguish the type of anemia that might affect the patient. So under the color, the red blood cells might be pale or have a very large central pallor. So those ones we call them hypochromic or hypochromasia. Hypochromic cells. Okay. And then those with very deep, of course, hyperchromic. And then the size, those that are larger, we call them macrocytic. And those that are small, we call them microcytic. Those that are small, we call them microcytic. So we have hypochromic, hyperchromic, macrocytic, microcytic. So now these, based on the color and then the size, we can talk about 2 various categories of anemia. So we have the hypochromic microcytic. So we can talk about the hypochromic macrocytic anemias. Then we can talk about the macrocytic anemias. So normally for the microcytic hypochromic anemias, microcytic, so basically we use the size first. So let's make this one microcytic hypochromic. So mostly we use the size, then the color. Okay. So we have microcytic hypochromic anemia and then macrocytic anemia. Okay. So as in the microcytic hypochromic anemia, when we say microcytic means small cells, and then hypochromic, they have large cells. So examples of microcytic hypochromic anemia in the microcytic hypochromic anemia, the MCV, which represents the size of the red blood cells, the size of the red blood cells, this is low. And then the MCH, which represents the hemoglobin content within one red blood cell. That is the mean cell hemoglobin or mean corpuscular hemoglobin. It's also low. And then the MCHC2 might also be low. So once you see this one, what you have to suspect is microcytic hypochromic anemia. And then for the macrocytic anemias, they mostly have low, they have large cells. Yes, what are coming? Large cells. The macrocytic anemias, they have large large central pallor, or they look pale. Okay. Now let's talk about deficiency of anemia. Under deficiency of anemia, we have hypochromic anemia and microcytic anemia. And under the hypochromic anemia, when we say hypochromic, it means they are what? They are faint, or they have large central pallor, or the hemoglobin content within them is what is reduced or minimal. We have iron deficiency anemia, we have thalassemia, we have lead poisoning or anemia of lead poisoning, we have sideroblastic anemia, and we have anemia of chronic disease. So mostly the hypochromic anemias, they are also microcytic. They have small red blood cells. Then for the macrocytic anemia, we have, it can be distinguished into megaloblastic and non-megaloblastic anemia. So for the megaloblastic anemia, we have vitamin B12 deficiency, then we have the folate deficiency. Then the non-megaloblastic anemia, we will have anemia due to liver disease. Right. So this is a brief overview of anemia. And in our next anemia videos, we are going to talk about the hypochromic anemia and the macrocytic anemia. We are going to pick iron deficiency anemia and talk about them. We are going to pick thalassemia, lead poison, etc. Then talk about them. Thank you for joining us in this session.